I'm doing good. I got to see a Mets game in person last week, which was awesome to see over there in Colorado, and even better. I mean, you saw a Mets win, which is very rare to come by these days. So it's you got to appreciate those wins for the Mets, although they're playing a little better than the last time we talked. But I'm doing good, man.
Yeah, and I told you, dude. I think the Mets. I don't know what they're. I said maybe they'll still win a wild card. Like I have faith that they could totally still top 10 players into the beef thin. And there's still a lot of baseball to be played. And even though the Mets currently are 14-23, like look at the teams above them before the wild card, right? The Marlins, the Rockies, the Nationals, the Reds, like the Pirates, the Cardinals. There's a lot of teams out there in front of them that they have flaws in their organization that we all were talking about, and that has not changed. Like the Cardinals, they're young, they don't have a lot of playoff experience. Who knows how the rest of the season goes for Jordan Walker? Who knows how the rest of the season goes for Nolan Gorman or for Mason Wynn or for Weatherholt? It's a long season. The Mets have a lot of veterans, so needless to say, let's jump into the beef. As always, brought to you by StatSoldier.com. Go check it out. Graphics and a statistics website where you can make awesome graphics and stats. It was created by ours truly, Dean Siriaco. And if you followed my Twitter or Skippers Review Twitter at all, or any of us here, you've seen those graphics and they come out beautifully. So, Hagen, let's jump right into it. Tarek Skubal is undergoing the ninth again Tommy John surgery. First reaction to this, what was your where did you go with the thought process of this one?
My first thought was, does this affect him in free agency, and how so? I think it has to affect him in some matter, whether it's big or small. Obviously, you have a little bit of elbow injury. You can take that as, hey, his elbow didn't look great, and we don't. This is a guy who's projected to get 350, $400 million, whatever it is. He's probably gonna be the highest paid pitcher of all time after this contract he signs. And it's just kind of how much money does this cost him? Does this cost him? Is it a year's thing where it's, hey, we don't want to give you 10 years, whatever he's projected at? We're not going to go 8 years, the max we're going to give you. Or is it going to be, hey, we're not going to give you $40 million a year, whatever it's going to be? I mean, it's just kind of the hard thing to do. I mean, you can look at it two ways that, hey, his elbow has some issues here, and that's a little scary. You can look at it as, hey, his elbow had some issues, or it's fixed now and he's all right now. So that's kind of where my brain went to. And I think it's a trade off that I think it's obviously your medical team's going to have to go through. But I mean, even the Tigers, too, I kind of look at where it's just like, you look at this team right now, it's kind of like it just sucks for the rotation right now. I mean, you have Skubal on the IL, you have Verlander on the IL with hip inflammation, Casey Mize is on the IL, Reese Olson's on the IL, Jackson Jubb's still out from Tommy John surgery last year. And the only guy healthy really from their opening day rotation are Framber Valdez and Jack Flaherty. And Framber Valdez is currently suspended.
You can't make this up, dude. And like, might as well talk about Framber Valdez right now. Yeah, what are you doing? Throwing at people like we say this on the field all the time, coaching junior varsity and varsity lacrosse players in high school, and we say KYP. KYP means know your personnel, and that can go for anything on the field as an athlete, right? Like, who are my teammates on the field right now? Oh, player X is really good on the left side. Maybe I try and get him the ball while he's over there, and maybe he has a weaker defender on him. Like, yeah, that's my know my personnel. Know your situation, Framber Valdez. Your entire team is the rotation's in shambles right now, and you're throwing at people. Like, I understand, like you're trying to make a statement and stick up for your teammates and your team, but come on, like that you have a target on your back when you cross up your catcher. People know you do shit like this, and it just, I don't know, a lot of unneeded attention is my thought.
I mean, yeah, he's kind of becoming one of those guys of, I know, like the Manny Machados, like a few years ago. Like when I was growing up, it was the Manny Machado of, people don't really like him unless he's on your team. A lot of people just didn't like Manny Machado just because they didn't like the way he slid. Obviously, the Pedroia one's the first one that comes to mind for people. But in the Frommer thing, I think a lot of people got rubbed the wrong way, and respectfully so. I mean, even me too. When Frommer threw his catcher last year after he let a home run, and then this year, I believe the game that he threw at the Red Sox, apparently they were stealing his signs, whatever. But also, like, it's part of the game. It's not like the Red Sox in 2018, whatever they're doing. Sorry, Dean, when they were using the Apple Watch and they were stealing signs that way and getting a competitive advantage that way. If it's on the field and it's nothing of this trash cans, all this, you can steal signs. Get better. Don't be showing your grips to the guys on the base. And if they get them from you, just don't be scared and just throw at them and just be that's just so soft. I mean, I believe that's what happened with Trevor Story and why they hit him, but and there was actually some cool stats I saw too out there that they said that Framber Valdez has thrown 2 four-seam fastballs since the start of last year, and they've both been hit batters where it's just like he only throws that if he's gonna hit a guy. It's hilarious.
So it's like, I'm gonna fucking drill you pitch.
He has a fuck you
That's
fastball, like literally just in his arsenal just for when he's pissed off.
oh my goodness. That's funny. Sorry for swearing there. Um, well, needless to say, dumb move by Framber. Sucks about Tarek Skubal. Unfortunately, he might be non-Detroit Tigers uniform. Who knows like how he recovers from this? He might have thrown his last pitch as a Detroit Tiger and people don't know about it. I don't think that's the case. I think he will come back this season just because it's early enough. And what do they say? 3 months?
I mean, I believe I saw something today said he already had the surgery, and I think they said it was closer to 6 weeks now. I think they said it went better than expected. If correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's what I saw.
But with all these guys on the IR, if Detroit's eliminated themselves in the playoffs, and who knows, it's the AL Central, they'll all be about 500 at that point anyway. Um, if Detroit's really in the hole, and it'll probably be what are we're 20% of the season, played about 35 games, 6 weeks, it's 30 games. Well, we won't be at the All-Star break yet, but we'll have a much better picture of like what the season outlook will look for some of these teams. Um, yeah, we'll see. But good luck. We wish you all the best, Mr. Skubal, as we're all big fans. So I'll get healthy soon. Let's jump. We haven't talked in a while, and we're going to talk about it because it's the number one overall draft pick from 2024. Travis Pizzana, real quickly, he got called up. He's hitting barely under 200. So he's only had 26 at bats. He's got 5 hits. I think a lot more will come from Pizzana. Do you have any takes on Pizzana? Are you a big Pizzana guy or Claus Pizzana fan
I
over there?
mean, I do like Bazana a lot. I'm not like too familiar. I haven't dove into him too far, honestly. But I mean, Bazana is an awesome type of player. I think, like when you look at the Guardians' offense, like he's a kind of a bat where I don't think he's a bat you expect to come in and be like a difference maker by any means. Of this guy's going to be hitting 4 for us every day, making a huge difference, slugging all this. I think Bazana is like you think of a Guardians hitter. Like if you close your eyes and think of who the Guardians have as hitters, I think Bazana is like a really good one of those, and obviously he's a rookie too. Like you can't put too high of expectations on him. We've had some rookies this year, like a Sal Stewart, who obviously had some time last year, but are killing it right now. And the guy hit like one of his players of baseball. I just don't think that's who Travis Bazana is. I mean, he's looked pretty good defensively too, from what I've seen. I mean, he had a throw today, I believe. He kind of had a rolled to his left on a ball and then missed it. Guy was taking third base and just threw an absolute laser, got him out. I mean, so it took him a couple games to get his first hit, but it seems like he's starting to settle in a little bit. I mean, especially too, like you got to take a guy who's a first overall pick. I don't care if he's an underslot or not. They know how to deal with things, and I think he's going to be able to deal with the adversary. I think it's a good thing too. I mean, even if he doesn't work out for him and he has to get sent down to AAA for a little bit of time, I think it's a learning experience, especially long term in his career.
Yeah. Let's jump. I think he's going to be a Guardians total hitter as well. I totally agree with that statement. Phillies, they fired Rob Thompson after a 9-19 start to the season. Hagen, was this premature?
I mean, it's hard to say. I think maybe a little early, but also too, we kind of talked about last time with managers where it's just like, what if you wait another month and the same thing's going on? Because, and I know this is not like a Rob Thompson, like goes back to this thing I was saying last episode of this is not like the manager's issue that this team is not playing good right now. It just comes down to the players not doing their job, and it just kind of you need a change for change sake to kind of get light someone in the locker room. I mean, the last time we saw it with the Phillies was when Joe Girardi got fired and Rob Thompson came in, and I believe they went to the World Series that year. So maybe they're doing that. I mean, it's definitely you have Don Manning at least stepping in for him, who I know some people aren't fond of him being a manager. There's a reason why he's been a manager recently, but also too that guy has baseball experience. I mean, this guy was a great big leaguer, borderline Hall of Famer if you just look at his whole course of career. Probably not going to get in, but you look to him as a manager too. Managed the Dodgers for a long time as well. One of the best organizations in all sports. I mean, done a really good job too. I mean, I think it's a good guy to have as a bench coach to step up now and take that role. He knows how to manage a locker room, keep those guys in check. But it kind of sucks for Rob Thompson. I would assume that next hiring cycle, he's definitely going to be a name that's up on there. I mean, he was always a guy who was protecting his players out there. If you're a player, that's the type of manager you want. Is a guy who's going to go out there and protect you and care for you and all that. So it kind of sucks, but I can't blame the Phillies at the same time. I mean, just kind of it's kind of the point in the year where something's got to change if nothing's working.
Dude, I like totally forgot that Don Mattingly has been the manager of 3 teams. This is his third team that I know he's an interim right now, but Los Angeles Dodgers for 4 years, Marlins for 6 years, and now the Phillies. Good for Don Mattingly and his managerial record. He wins 49% of the games that he's in. So he has a losing record as a manager, and he's been a part of 3 teams. It's kind of wild. And like this is coming from a guy wearing a Yankee hat right now. Did not realize that. Let's move on. The home run race right now. So we are dealing with a very interesting home run race this year. And I think that when you look down at it, you got Aaron Judge at the front, but a guy that first year in the league in Munetaka Murakami, he's got 14. He's right on Judge's trail. Hagen, do you think what do you think of the guys hitting home runs right now? And we're going to talk about a superstar who hasn't hit a single home run yet this year, but um, yeah, Judge is barely batting 275, and he is leading the whole league in home runs.
I mean, like the judges, there's a reason why that every single year he's like the favorite to lead league in home runs, and he's always like plus 200 on the books to lead league in home runs because you can almost at least pencil Judge in for 50. Like it's more just is he going to get that 60? Is he going to get the whatever the 65, whatever he had the time before? Is he going to get that again? I think it's a lot of people think about, especially when he's at the peak of his powers right now and the best hitter since Barry Bonds. I mean, it's you just kind of know he's always been top of the leaderboard. I think if Judge was outside of the top three, I think that would be insane if he finished there. So Judge is going to do hit those home runs. But Murakami's an interesting one because we knew the power was crazy. I mean, before last season, it was already Murakami talking. It was a $300 million guy, a $200 million, whatever it is. I'm signing like a 2-year deal with the White Sox. I mean, if anyone would have told you beginning of last year he's going to be a White Sox, they would have called you crazy and whatever. And he is shining right now with the White Sox. I mean, he's literally exactly what we thought he is. He's going to swing and miss a ton. He's going to strike out a lot, but he's going to hit a lot of home runs. I mean, he's doing it great right now. I mean, if he's doing this and his contract ends up expiring and that keeps up for a couple of years, I mean, this guy could get a lot of money if he can just hit enough home runs. I mean, his archetype is so like home run and slugging dependent, where if he's not hitting home runs and he's not hitting doubles, triples, he's really can't be too productive of a player, especially if you're not a great defender as well. I mean, it's been awesome to see Murakami do that. And I think the one to highlight too here, the big one would be Matt Olson, because I think this guy's like a top of one of the best players in all of Major League Baseball right now. Probably going to be, if you put NL MVP up there right now, he might be the NL MVP so far through the season. And I feel like people don't really talk about him much, especially with the Braves being a big market team. I think Braves are one of the biggest market teams in all of baseball and one of the best records on Major League Baseball too. And this guy too plays every single day. I mean, this what do you not want from this guy? I mean, his peripherals look great too. I mean, he's Matt Olson. Just what you're getting at Matt Olson, and he's looking like that 2020, I believe 2022 version, 2024 version, where he was looking like an MVP candidate, and he was up there. I believe took top 5 in MVP voting one year. I mean, he's looking like that Matt Olson again, even better.
Yeah, I was gonna call out the same thing. Matt also plays every day, and he's like, if you look at his like baseball reference page, I'm not gonna pull it up right now, but he like I think has played a full season, like 3 of the last 4 seasons, and the season that he didn't play a full season before that, in terms of 162 full games, he played like 155 or 156. Like this guy does not miss. It's great.
I
Um,
mean, I mean, literally to back you up there. I mean, he's played 162 dating back till 2022. Before that, it was 156. Before that, it was the COVID year. And basically, if you go back to the COVID year, he's missed 6 games.
Jeez. Um, But real quick, Aaron Judge needs 117 more home runs to join the 500 club. 217 more to reach 600. The other players that have hit that many home runs after their 34th birthday, which Aaron Judge is now 34. Judge had 56 guys have hit at least 122 home runs after their 34th birthday. So that's good news for Judge. Nelson Cruz has done it. Albert Pujols, Adrian Beltre, Carlos Beltran, David Ortiz, and A-Rod. The 600 club would require Judge to do what only 7 players have done at his age. Barry Bonds had 368. Cruz and Hagarian both had 274. Alvaro had 255, Ruth had 244, and Big Poppy and Andres Galarraga had 222 home runs. So they are the only players to have at least 222 after their 34th birthday. And that's the number required to get Judge. Sorry, 217 to get to 600. Another home run story I want to talk about is Kyle Schwarber because Aaron Judge is not the only power hitter in the league. Kyle Schwarber, he hit his 350th career home run since we last spoke. The Phillies star got to that milestone in his 1,321st career game. He's the seventh fastest hitter to ever reach 350, and he's behind the Judge, McGuire, Juan Gonzalez, A Rod, Harmon Killebrew, Pujols, and then Schwarber himself. So thought that was really cool. The other fact of this Kyle Schwarber thing, Babe Ruth, in case you were wondering how he compares to Kyle Schwarber, hit his 350th career home run in his 1300 1329th game. So just 8 games more than what it took Schwarber to do it. Fun fact about Babe Ruth and Schwarber. Took that from MLB.com.
I mean, it's pretty interesting too. I mean, I think even like just real quick on Schwarber, I mean, it's kind of crazy because we've always known that Kyle Schwarber is going to be a guy to slug. I mean, even like in his rookie year 2015, he obviously had his knee injury that he missed, came back, but he had a 273 plate appearances, a 130 or 130 OPS plus, excuse me. That was 2015. He wasn't an All Star till 2021 when he was on the Nationals and the Red Sox that year. It's crazy, honestly, too, that he wasn't an all-star with the Cubs, anything. And then he goes over there to Philadelphia, and he's had MVP votes the last 4 years. Like, this is the last 4 years of Kyle Schwarber's career. His age 29 to 32, typical prime for Major League Baseball players. He's been incredible. An MVP 16, 19, 15, and runner-up last year, Shohei Ohtani. I mean, Kyle Schwarber is just killing it, as always.
Yeah, and one more home run fun fact from this week. Probably should have brought up when we were talking about Matt Olson and his Iron Man run. Matt Olson hit his 300th career bomb, so that's awesome. He hit it off Logan Gilbert. Uh, Kind of crazy that he's not only played in all these games, he's north of 300 bombs now. I know, like people would say, "Oh, he's a counting stat guy," but it's like Matt Olson's objectively a good player, like year over year. So, love to see that for Matt Olson. Let's talk. Actually, let's just jump to the divisional roundup. So, American League East, the big story outside, like right now, we'll go through the standings very quickly, and then hey, you'll run through just like the big story that we wrote down. If not, you can just pick one to go. So, um, right now in the American League East, the Yankees have a 26-12 record, puts them up on everyone. Tampa's in second, Baltimore's in third. Blue Jays and Boston are both 16-21 and 9.5 games back. So my big thing, Garrett Crochet is hitting the IL. Shoulder inflammation, never a good sign. Is Boston? Are you worried if you're a Boston fan? That I think that's the big highlight this week for the AL East.
Sorry,
I
I cut
think
out
we're having an IT
background
issue.
now.
Um, Sorry, you logged out for a second. We landed on Boston. They're right now no Garrett Crochet. They're in a little bit of trouble.
I mean, it's hard not to be a little worried. I mean, I think about it too, like in the sense of like as a Mets fan here, of like, I think Boston and the Mets here are kind of in the same situations of very disappointing start so far. I mean, the Mets were very, very close to firing the manager. It seemed like the Red Sox did do that. You have Brian Bayo, who's looking like the worst pitcher in baseball right now, and you have a financial commitment to him, so you're going to keep running them out there. You lose your ace, where like the guy who's going out there, and this is supposed to be like, hey, when he goes out on the mound, we win. Obviously, he had a few starts before that where he didn't look great. So I think it's hard right now to be a Red Sox fan. I mean, I'm not giving up on the season of Red Sox by any means, but I mean, I hate to say this on May 7th, but I mean, if I'm a Red Sox fan, I'm not looking at the division anymore. I mean, I just think when you're this far back, I mean, 9.5 games back. I know we've seen crazier later in the year as well, too, but I mean, you just have to look at your team and say, we're 16 and 21. You can see the flaws that are on the roster right now. We might just be the team that can win the division. You have to look too. Like, look at the Yankees, man. The Yankees are so good right now. One of the best teams all major baseball. They're getting Colin Rodon back too soon too. Like, you got to think, you got to factor that in as well.
Yeah, I think the Yankees are kind of humming right now. Pitching looks really good. Bats the bats can look better. The Yankees just called up Spencer Jones. Um, Wild turn of events, and everyone all off season really talked about the Yankees have too much outfield depth. Why did they make a qualifying offer to Trent Grisham, including myself? I was like, I can't believe they offered Trent Grisham the qualifying offer. And then, like, obviously, he was fantastic last year, but it was like you were going after Bellinger. You knew you might have to spend the money elsewhere, and you already had Stanton, you already had Judge, you already knew you had Dominguez who you could play. Um, I'm trying to think who else that I'm missing. They went out and got Randall Grichuk. Remember that? So it just seemed like there was going to be no playing time for the young prospects and Spencer Jones and Jason Dominguez. What do you know? Giancarlo Stanton gets injured. Jason Dominguez gets called up. He runs into a wall. He gets carted off the field, and now Spencer Jones getting called up. Three-man swing right there, and having depth helps. And we're gonna get to see a little bit of Spencer Jones. I think a lot of Yankee fans are excited about that. I am excited about that. I'm not excited because now we're down Jason Dominguez, who I really like, and I need him to get reps. And we're also down Giancarlo Stanton as fans. As fans, I want to make sure I've heard that in case Dean's listening. Um, which sucks. Which sucks. But let's jump to the American League Central. Dude, I didn't write down anything for the Central. Literally every team in the Central has a losing record between 18 and 20 and 16 and 22, besides the Guardians, who are 20 and 19, one game above 500. It's the most AL Central division I've seen in a long time. But this is the defining AL Central to me.
I mean, I was just gonna say too, like, the one thing I have on the AL Central is I feel like every episode we just kind of go over the AL Central and we both have the same takeaway. This division sucks. No one cares about it unless you're a fan of a team in the AL Central. No one cares about the AL Central. I don't care about the AL Central. I'm not keeping up with what's going on besides like if individual things are happening for the players. I'm not tracking the Guardians, the Royals, all these people on a daily basis. I mean, just it's such boring baseball, in my opinion.
The one thing I'll call out: the Twins are in last place in the Central, right? They're 16 and 22. They've scored the most runs, and it's not close. Well, I shouldn't say it's not close, but they have 183 runs scored. Second place in that division is the Tigers 165. So it's almost 20 more runs scored than them, but they've allowed by far the most runs against. They've let up 195 runs, second most in that division, 173. So it's almost a 21 or 22 game difference in runs allowed. There you go. They're your problem twins. You need to keep scoring, and stop less runs. Um, American League West. Uh, I actually have something funny to talk about with this. Not about the injury, but for those who don't know, Carlos Correa, unfortunately, season-ending injury. Hagen, talk to us about the injury for a second, then I'll tell you what transpired when this happened for me.
I mean, Carlos Correa obviously was, I believe, a top three player in WAR for the Astros this season. Was playing pretty good baseball for him this year, and a big part of him last year. Obviously, retired his career a little bit when he came back to Houston. Hurt his ankle, was gonna have to get surgery on it, and ironically enough, he had the two $300 million contracts by the Giants and the Mets ended because of an ankle examination right before he signed during the physical. And funny enough, I think it was the wrong ankle. I think it was the opposite ankle of what it is. So I guess he's got two bad ankles now, which I guess I don't know if that makes you feel better or worse if you're Houston that it wasn't the ankle that I don't know, but it just sucks for Correa too, especially Houston as well. But I guess my big takeaway on the injury was also just that there was a lot of Isak Paredes trade conversation in the offseason. And the way I looked at this team is I was saying, hey, yeah, I agree that you have to get this guy in the lineup every single day. But if one of these guys go down, what happens? You have no spot. And I mean, now Isak Paredes is the everyday third baseman for the rest of the year. I mean, that's great for him. I mean, we know the guy is built for the Crawford box, is going to put up get it 30 home runs there. So good for Paredes, but that does suck for the Astros, especially when you're the worst team in the American League.
Dude, I'm in 4 fantasy baseball leagues. I'm pretty sure I have Isaac Paredes rostered in 2, maybe 3 of them. I'm like going to look. I know I have him in my big league. I have him in another keeper league. I have him in 2 of my 4 leagues. This is music to my ears that he gets to play, but at what cost? I'm a Carlos Correa guy, so this sucks because I'm not rooting for the injury, but I for fantasy wise, this was huge for me. Um, I probably shouldn't even said that. That sounds so terrible now that I think about it. But um, what I did want to, what I was like right there when it was tweeted out by Passon, and I was gonna comment on it. You're breaking up the band, Yoko. Would you have thought that was funny? I wanted to gauge your interest live to see if it was funny or not. If not, I'm just an old soul. I don't or
I honestly, I might be too young to get your reference there.
okay. So yeah, it wouldn't have hit. It wouldn't have hit. But the whole concept was a joke that I guess I was stealing from. Have you ever watched that 70s show?
No, no, I've heard about it though.
Oh my god, you're killing me, dude. You're killing me. All right. It was a funny like the whole joke is like a woman named Yoko broke up the Beatles. When she went out with John Lennon, whatever. It was like that's like the backstory. When that 70s show, they used that joke because one of the girls like made out with like 2 or 3 of the friends. It was just like, but it was like Carlos Correa and the original band of Altuve, Jordan Alvarez, and like as they're on their last run, I was gonna stupid joke. Sorry, totally missed. Um, National League East. Let's jump to the Braves, who are red hot. Uh, Ronald Acuna hit the IL, and Bryce Elder's been a dog. Who do you want to talk about first, Elder or Acuna for the Braves?
I mean, I think you gotta talk about Acuna just because that's the star player of this team. I mean, and even too, I know he was starting to heat up a little bit towards the end of his injury, but if you look at Acuna, I mean, he's a half a win player in a 110 WRC plus. For Ronald Acuna standards, he was playing bad baseball. And look at where the Braves are at. I mean, I think the way the team's been playing, they played the first 20 games well with him not doing really anything at that point. So, yes, it sucks to see Acuna down because we really have only seen the one healthy, like full healthy season from Acuna. And look what he did that one year. Even as a Mets fan, that like I'm not a big fan of Ronald Acuna, but I appreciate how good this guy is at his game and all that. I mean, the one year he really had a full healthy season, he won the MVP over Shohei Ohtani. I believe he's the only person since he's came over in the last 4 years to overtake Shohei Ohtani in an MVP race. Granted, yes, Ohtani had Tommy John surgery that year, wasn't pitching, but that's still impressive. I mean, Ohtani is still an amazing hitter in all Major League Baseball. I mean, and Bryce Elder as well. I mean, I thought this guy was like my number one DFA candidate to start the year. Like in the offseason, I was looking at who's out of options and who's not a good baseball player. Who's going to get who's going to get DFA'd. Bryce Elder was the top of my list. And this guy is just dogging right now. He's doing the whatever 2022 Bryce Elder thing, but better honestly. I mean, his peripherals look a little bit better than when he was doing it back then. I mean, he's changed his arsenal up a little bit. Whether that was a thing in the offseason he did with an outside program or a Jeremy Hefner thing coming in there, but you have to just appreciate. I mean, the dude's got 50 innings at a 2 ERA. It's baffling me.
Yeah, Bryce Elder is doing his thing. Love to see that from Bryce. Uh, especially as they have dealt with rotational issues over the last couple of years. 49 innings, barely over a 2 ERA, and he's already put up 45 Ks in 49 innings, almost a 9 to 9 K to innings pitched. I think that's incredible. And looking forward to seeing what we can get out of him the rest of the season. I'm going to stop sharing this. Let's move on to the National League Central. I think the big news out of the Central, after looking just really quick, highlighting the rankings, Cubs are killing it right now. They're on a 9-game win streak. Their last 9, they're 9-1. Last 10, they're 9-1. Outside the Cubs, though, it's relatively even. Um, Everyone's in between 21 and 15, and then 20 and 18. So it's a dogfight just below the Cubs. I want to talk about Jackson Churrio's back. Jackson Churrio, 4 for 4 in his first game. Um, and he crushed the ball when he came back. The hits off the bat, 108.3 miles per hour, 102.8, 105.7, and 109.2. So he's 22 years old. He's been on the injured list since opening day due to a fracture in his left hand. And he suffered the fracture while playing for Venezuela during the WBC. Churio's he's a guy I have invested in his rookie card. I have his autograph. I'm a big Jackson Churio guy. Love to see this. I think the Brewers are going to kind of make a run here. I think the Cubs are going to, they're going to cool off eventually. And the Brewers sitting right now at 19 and 16, 3 games above 500. Mizorowski looks good. Um, Aaron Ashby's looking solid out of the pen for them. They have a lot. Bryce Terang's been amazing. Are the Brewers going to do their thing here for the next 80% of the season?
I mean, I always say you know where the Brewers are going to end up at the end of the year, whether that's the best record in baseball like last year, but it maybe not be that, but it's going to be in playoff contention, in contention with the division. You just know the Brewers, and I mean, you look at the Cubs now, like the Matthew Boyd injury goes down, Justin Steele's setback. You have all these injuries on the pitching side, and yes, their offense is mashing right now, but it's also like how long do you want Conray, who's been great this year? Don't get me wrong, but more so Javier Assad. Like, how long do you want him starting games for you right now? You don't want to do that for a very long time, honestly. And I think you look at the Brewers, they're getting guys back like Choria. You're eventually going to get Yelich back here soon. Quinn Priester, I know he just got set back on his rehab, but we forget how good Quinn Priester was last year for the Brewers and a big part of the rotation he was eating innings for him last year. I mean, he's going to come back here in a little bit too, and I think that's going to be a big thing for him. And like you're saying, they might go on a run here. The Brewers are looking like things are starting to kind of line up at the right time.
Dude, Logan Henderson, he's the king of like, hey, you're not going to hear from me for months. And then I'm going to come in, go against the Nationals, throw 6 innings, 8 strikeouts, and earn a quality start with a .5 whip on the day. Dude, they are a machine. Imagine if they had money. It would be awesome to witness that. Um, let's move on to the National League West. I don't want to talk about the Dodgers. Let's talk about the Padres. Mason Miller's scoreless streak ends at 34 and two-thirds innings. Some have said this is the most impressive run ever by a pitcher. Uh, and if you look at the standings, it just seems this is so natural. Dodgers, Padres, Diamondbacks. The only flip flop is Rockies, Giants. I would have assumed that the Rockies would have been in last place, but no, it's the Giants. They're 14 and 23. Their record's abysmal, like abysmal. They've scored 115 runs. Their offense is abysmal. Um, do you think this Tony Vitello experiment? Like, is it too soon to pull the plug on that one?
I mean, yeah, I think it's way too early, especially too like I think about it in the sense of like a Buster Posey's mind, of like a GM side of things. You can't pull the plug this early when you make a move that was this. It was just a big move that always gonna get people's attention a lot, and it was something that's never done before. You can't pull the plug 40 games into the year. I feel like you have to at least let him go a year. I mean, unless there's something awful that happens in the locker room, because then like you can't. Basically, as a GM, you're admitting that I messed up my job. I messed up my biggest job is obviously finding a manager. I messed it up 2 months into the season. I think you can't do that. Even if it was the right decision, I think Buster Posey's going to hang on to him for a little bit. But I mean, the Giants, I thought they were pretty mid beginning of the year. I didn't think they were going to be not a good baseball team.
Yeah. And real quick, I'm gonna share my screen one more time. Dude, if we look at Mason Miller's spray chart here, 34 strikeouts, 17 innings. The dude is almost striking out 2 batters per inning. That's absurd. And he's not allowing any contact really. His whip, he's averaging .58 walks and hits per innings pitched. Like it's literally the statistic, but how this is absurd. And his 15-game rolling chart here for his K percentage has been going up and up and up.
I mean,
I, I
I don't. I don't think I've seen like a more dominant stretch from. I know he's a reliever, so the sample size is smaller and all that. But like, if you just took just by an inning basis, I've never seen this dominance from a pitcher in my entire life. And that's counting guys like Prime Degrom, Prime Kershaw, Prime Verlander. Like, they weren't doing what Mason Miller was doing. I mean, even to like looking at the baseball savant page, everything is at least the 94th percentile except his extension, which isn't even a stat. That's just how far down you get in the mound. That has nothing to do with your performance by any means. And then you look too, he's sitting 101. His average fastball is 101 miles an hour. His average changeup, yes, he throws only 3% of the time, 96 miles per hour. The average major league fastball, I believe, is 95. It's
I
insane.
I was like out with my head lacrosse coach, and he's like a loose Giants fan. He actually tries to tune in as much as he can, but he like doesn't know the random stars around the league. Like he knows the Giants, then he knows like Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani. And I was like, dude, you gotta check out this Mason Miller guy. And I was showing him his highlights of him just like YouTube dicing up somebody. He's like, how fast is his changeup? And I was just like, what is he throwing at? Like 92 his changeup? Do you know how
Sorry,
fast
who?
his changeup? Do you know what his Mason Miller's miles per hour is on that? I'm gonna look it up.
96.
Yeah. Sorry, I said 92. I knew it was mid 90s. Uh dude, it's a changeup and he's throwing it 96 miles an hour. Like absurd. But yeah, it was just he's a guy that like what start watching. Let's jump to the MLB news. And some of these we could fly through, some of them let's talk about. This first one, Nick Kurtz, 20 games, most consecutive games of the walk in the modern era. Roy Cullenbine was 22 back in 1947. Nick Kurtz just did it in 2026. He had 20 games. So 2 games short, tied Barry Bonds for what he did back in 2002, 2003. And then Ted Williams was before that 19 games back in 1941. So you got Bonds and 2 guys from the 1940s doing this. Nick Kurtz, geez, he is so good. He's also, I think he's got a 31 game on base streak right now, which just broke like Matt Chapman's record from a few years ago when he did it as an Oakland Athletic.
I mean, like Nick Kurtz, I know he had that rough start to the year. I believe it was the first 20, 30 plate appearances of the year, whatever it was. He was awful, to put it easy. But honestly, we know some guys just take a second. A slump happens in June. People don't really realize as much that happens beginning of the year, like to happen then. And then you look now, Nick Kurtz. I can't find the exact dates right now to look this up, but I do know he has been a top 10 hitter, I believe, in all of Major League Baseball if you take away his first 30 plate appearances. So he's right back to doing what he was. I mean, last year he was literally since his debut last year, the only hitter better than him was Aaron Judge. He had the same WRC plus as Shohei Ohtani when he debuted last year. This guy rakes.
Yeah, he absolutely rakes. And if you're in a dynasty league, you should absolutely try and trade for him. I've been sending out trades to everyone in the league for Nick Kurtz. Like any league I can try and get Nick Kurtz, I'm trying to get him. Angels, Mike Trout doing Mike Trout things. He sets an Angels franchise record with his 797th career extra base hit. The Angels also officially released Jordan Romano, who's now an unrestricted free agent. I don't think he's been picked up by anyone. Um, let's talk about Mike Trout for a second. Do you think he's getting traded at the deadline?
No. I think Trout at this point is not going to get traded at all. As much as I want to see Trout go somewhere else, I think that dude, he said countless times before he wants to be an Angel, and I think that's where he's going to end up finishing. The Yankee thing's it's always been though the Yankees and the Phillies. I feel like if anything, he's going to the Phillies if he gets traded though.
Dude, it, if the Yankees could somehow convince the Angels to like, hey, we'll take Trout and pay half Stan's salary. You take Stanton and you take Trent Grisham, and we'll trade you like a prospect or two, like an
You'd
arm.
have to
And
throw in. I mean,
you
you'd have
know
to
they
throw
might
in
throw
more.
in for sure, like Ben Hess, and they'd have to throw in like maybe Carlos Lagrange. Worth it. Get Trout for his last few years. Get a lot of salary off the books, and you're taking up salary for them. You're making Mike Trout happy. He's back in the Northeast where he's from. Where's he from? Jersey originally, I think.
He's a
Um,
Jersey, but I believe he grew up a Phillies fan.
do you really want to play for a team who just fired their manager and they can't get their shit together? Like I would not want to play. Dude, the Yankees look poised to make a run right now.
I mean, he's just it just comes down to like where you want to play. Like I just always thought like if Trout got traded, it was always gonna be the Phillies.
Dude, I don't know. Dude, Trout would look so good in pinstripes. It's not. It's unbelievable. He'd look good in any uniform.
I mean,
But
yeah, I'll see the edits on Instagram and stuff. I've seen them for years now of Trout photoshopped into a Yankees uniform, and it looks pretty damn good.
dude, him in pinstripes, batting between like Rice and Judge, and like it'd be stupid if he was fully healthy at the end of the year too when it happens. But knowing the Yankees' luck, he would somehow tweak an oblique or something like that when he got there. Um, Spencer Torkelson, he had 5 straight games where he homered this past week and a half. Uh, it was a he tied a Tigers record. He tied Hall of Famer Hank Greenberg, Rudy York, Vic Verts, Willie Horton, and Marcus Thames. Um, it was also the longest streak this season, tied Munetaka Murakami. Uh, the all-time MLB records, 8 straight games to do so. Ken Griffey Jr., Don Mattingly, and Dale Long. Let's talk about the Tigers a little bit. Piling on from the Framber Valdez news earlier, they also landed Gleyber Torres on the 10-day IL. So this is retroactive back to May 4th. Hey, and Tigers are kind of falling apart right now. Besides,
I mean,
that's like the bright spot is Kevin McGonigal.
I mean, yeah, it sucks they've had some injuries start to pile up here. We talked earlier about just the whole rotation's almost injured here. But if you just look at where they're at now, and I know it hasn't taken a full effect yet, but 17 and 20, when two games back in the division, you just have to keep your head above water. If you can just play 500 baseball, I know it's kind of a lot to ask for when you have two pitchers in rotation, really, and you have three guys down. I know it's a lot to ask, but if you can just play 500 baseball, no one in this AL Central is going to run away with the division, at least in my opinion. It could happen, whatever means, but the Guardians are first place now at 20 and 19. The Tigers are in second place at 18 and 20. I mean, you just got to stay close for when you do get a school back, Torres back. I know there's going to be some offensive people there. I think Riley Green's struggling a little bit too, but Torque coming alive was big for him, especially after I believe he had a really, really rough start. So the Tigers kind of keep your head above water for a little bit.
Yeah. Um, they definitely, yeah, they can hang in there. They got a good team. Sorry, my dog's going nuts. Baltimore, they placed their closer Ryan Helsley on the 15-day IL with right elbow inflammation. You want to talk about Helsley for a second?
Yeah, I mean, Halsey was a guy too. I mean, it sucks to see him go down because obviously you have these guys with the high velo and stuff. You kind of expect the arm injuries to kind of happen at some point. It almost seems like it's bound to happen. But she had averages 99 miles an hour. But it sucks for Helsley too. Has been pretty damn good this year. I mean, honestly, 2.53 ERA with 7 saves and only 10 innings so far this season. Obviously, small sample, but he was a big guy last year. And the Mets traded for him at the deadline. I was really hyped about, and obviously didn't go well at all. But he was on top of my list of bounce back candidates because I believe that's not who Ryan Helsley was. He just had a tipping issue, and that's what was happening to him. And he showed that so far this year. Yes, he was getting hit a little hard. He wasn't getting any chase at all, but Ryan Helsley was still great. I mean, his expected ERA was 2.84, which is it looks like it's about 80th percentile, 85th percentile. I mean, he's been great so far this year for the Orioles, so it sucks to see him go down.
Yeah, absolutely does suck to see him go down. Some more Yankee news. They optioned Luis Heel to AAA. We mentioned Stanton's hit the IL. Spencer Jones got called up. Jason Dominguez is hitting the IL. Toronto, Max Scherzer went on the 15-day IL with right forearm tendonitis and left ankle inflammation. Uh, I feel like he's just been nonstop on the IL since like the last 2 years. Like he's really been on the IL a lot. Tampa Bay. This really sucks. I love Ryan Pepio. He is an Indianapolis guy, where I'm from, living nowadays. So hate to see him go down, especially seeing that he's a Tampa Bay Ray guy, and I invested a lot in him in fantasy just because he's super talented. I love watching him pitch, but he's going to miss the remainder of the season. Diagnosed with a hip inflammation, was placed on the 15-day IL, and then transferred to the IL 60. Um, and it was supposed to be, big year for him. Big year and money, I think, was up for. I think his contract expired at the end of this year. Um, I think that the Rays is the last thing they need. That like because the Rays are actually doing really well right now. Any, are you a big Pepio guy or no?
I always liked Pepio, and obviously he was kind of became a big name when he was obviously the main headliner in return from that Tyler Glasnow trade. Look, dude, he does have 2 more years of arbitration left, so that's at least nice for the Rays. But I mean, it does suck too. I mean, the guy didn't even get to make a single start this year. He pitched a single inning, and he's already down this year. So that sucks to see him go down there too. But I know him started to be the big thing though. I mean, like the most recent example I could think of was like a David Peterson, who yes, he's not been David Peterson. He hasn't been great this year so far, but he always had issues with his hip, and he finally got the surgery. And you see a lot of guys who they try to fight it because you're out for so long, and then you get it, and your body can move again. You feel like you can fire towards the plate, and your mechanics feel a lot more smooth. So hopefully we can see him come back and be better than we have, because I think he's been a guy based off a lot of potential. We really haven't seen it really put together for a full, I mean, even half of a year, honestly, for Ryan Pepio.
Yeah. Um, Moving on, Chris Sale, he moves into seventh place among all lefties on the all-time strikeout list. So, leader in lefties, Randy Johnson, he's got just under 5,000. Steve Carlton's just above 4,000. CC Bathia just barely got over 3,000. Same with Kershaw. And then it's Mickey Lolich and Frank Tanana right in front. Chris Sale, arguably, if he gets 200 more strikeouts this year, which would be a lot, I think, for him to get 200 at this point, he could jump into the top five all time at the end of the year. I think he will ultimately do that before his career ends. He could probably jump Kershaw as well, and maybe even CC, but getting to Carlton and Johnson is going to be real, real hard. Let's talk about Junior Caminero. I'm sorry, not Junior Caminero. He just homered, and I got that on the screen. Uh, Jose Ramirez, 300 career steals. Among active players, only Trey Turner, Jose Altuve, and Starling Marte have more than J Ram. The only other Guardian with nearly as many steals as Jose Ramirez is Kenny Lofton. Dude, J Ram, again, is one of the most underappreciated baseball players of our time. He is so good at the game of baseball.
I mean, he really is. I mean, every time we talk about him, I feel like we don't give him his flowers enough over the course of these episodes. We do, but he's one of the best players in all of Major League Baseball. I'm just excited to just see Jose Ramirez. I know he's starting to pass like some thresholds of Guardians records and this of active players, whatever it is. He's going to get in that stage of his career now for being so good for so long. But I'm just so excited to see whatever 7 years down the road, whenever Jose Ramirez retires, where does he sit on all these Guardians records throughout his career? He's probably going to be top three in almost every offensive category. That's just good. It's not like it's he just hits home runs, he just gets whatever it is, RBIs, whatever. He has stolen bases. Like he gets up there with everything. He's such a well-rounded player. He's gonna be up there in WAR, probably gonna be the WAR leader if he's not already. But it's incredible to see, and also too shout out Starling Marte on that list as well. I think a very sneaky, the active stolen base leader. I don't think a lot of people would think that.
Is Starling Marte the active leader?
I believe so. He was at least at the beginning of the year.
Damn. Did not realize that. Well, let's move on. Miami Marlins closer Pete Fairbanks hits the 15-day IL with nerve irritation. The Cubs announced that Justin Steele, he's been out since April 2025. He had UCL surgery. He'll be shut down. His injury, he had a setback. He'll be shut down for at least another month. It was a flexor strain, it sounds like. Kate Horton's on the IL for the whole year. Chicago, I know they're winning a lot right now, but this rotation, unless they do something drastic here at the deadline, I just can't take them as a serious contender. Like, you're imagine them going in a series right now, the Cubs, and they go against the Dodgers in a 7-game series. Who's your game one starter?
I mean, you have Shota or Edward Cabrera. After that, it's Johnny Allstaff.
Like the Shohei Ohtani is more likely to win a Cy Young this year than an MVP as of right now, and he's probably your game one starter. And then you have Tyler Glass now, and Yamamoto, and Snell's gonna be healthy here soon. Like we haven't even mentioned Blake Snell at all this year. Like he's sitting in the Dodgers, like just chilling, like rehabbing, getting better, and like Emmett Sheehan's starting to look better. They also Justin Robleski's been disgusting in his starts. Like it's an unfair game, and the Cubs, as good as their offense is, they need to like trade a couple prospects, and I think like trade some like a bat wherever they have the most depth at to like go get a pitcher. It's that critical. We'll keep moving on though. Milwaukee, Brandon Woodruff, he hit the 15-day IL with right shoulder inflammation. Don't like to see that. Milwaukee said there was no structural damage and his stay on the IL should be minimal, but we shall see. He's been banged up a lot over the last few years. The Giants called up their top prospect, first baseman Bryce Eldridge, as well as a catcher, third base prospect Jesus Rodriguez. They need offense, and they called up two guys in the top 20 in their system. Hopefully, we see some sparks from them. San Diego, we mentioned it earlier. We're going to talk about one elite player, and we're going to talk about him right now. There's one player on the San Diego Padres. He's an elite player. His name is Fernando Tatis Jr. You might have heard of him. There's been 340 players in Major League Baseball to hit a home run this year. Fernando Tatis Jr., he is not one of them. Hagen, what's your thoughts on Tatis Jr. right now?
I mean, it's just so weird to see from Fernando Tatis so far this year because like he's hitting the shit out of the ball right now. I mean, his hard hit percentage is 99% on all of baseball. It's not like the angles he's hitting at is bad by any means. Like it's still above average. The angles he's hitting them at. His peripherals are obviously a lot better than his actual performance on the field with a 606 OPS hitting 242. But it's just weird. It's just kind of one of those things. I remember seeing this for the first time like a week or two ago, and I was kind of like, oh yeah, well, it's still kind of early in the season. We'll start going, but it's getting the territory now where it's getting a little weird. I know he's had a few home runs that have gone to, or a few almost home runs, excuse me, that have gone to the track, but it's really weird to see Tatis so far and what's happened so far. It's weird too, especially with the Padres being one of the best teams in all Major League Baseball without Fernando Tatis being himself.
Yeah, watch him just like rattle off nine in a row or some shit like that once he gets back into it. Would love to see that. Thought this was pretty cool. This happened. I don't know if this is still the most accurate, but it happened like a few days ago, so it's relatively pretty accurate. The highest OPS of the last year, minimum 100 games played. Aaron Judge, Shohei Ohtani, Nick Kurtz. Who do you think's fourth? Or did you already look at the agenda?
I mean, I'm looking right now, and I know he's one of the best hitters in Major League Baseball right now. Had a great year last year, but Max Muncy.
Dude, we got to give Max Muncy his flowers. So over the last 100 games, or over the last fiscal year, Max Muncy's had 906 .969 OPS. Judge, Otani, Kurtz, Muncy, Soto. That you don't hear those names in a grouping together that often. Good for Max Muncy because he's like the Dodger who like I think like people are in the weeds of baseball. We'll talk about Max Muncy. People in the weeds, people are not like in the weeds of baseball. They're like Mookie Betts and Shohei Otani and Freddie Freeman. They don't realize Max Muncy is like, dude, that guy's fighting in the trenches day in and day out at the hot corner.
And the people too who like to like look more into, hey, what changed? How come Max Muncy all of a sudden became a really good hitter to like this guy's one of the best hitters in Major League Baseball last year? You look into it, he did get glasses. He got contacts, he got glasses, whatever. I'm telling you, if you look at the exact date he added those, you look till then, he's an incredible baseball player. Not like he was before, but took it to a different level.
Yeah, absolutely. He's he's been flawless as good as the Dodgers have been. Like I can't hate on them for Max Muncy. Like that's not a guy I'm gonna hate on. The guys we're gonna hate on the Dodgers for are the Glassnows, the Blake Snells, the Edwin Diaz's of the world, the Tanner Scotts of the world, who you went just above market pay grade and went and got these guys. And it's like Max Muncy, no way. Good for him. Um, We'll add on a sad note, Ted Turner, Atlanta former owner. I think he owned the Braves for 20 years. He also founded CNN. He died at the age of 87 this week. And another Hall of Fame worthy candidate, John Sterling, Yankees broadcaster. He passed away this week at the age of 87 as well. So hate to see that. John Sterling, I know much more about Sterling than Turner, even though I know Turner fiscally was the more successful one. But like anyone who's ever heard like the Yankees win, like that's John Sterling and his original like um voiceover of calling a game. I think he called how many games in a row was it? Wasn't like 5,000 plus some odd straight games that he called.
I mean, I don't know the exact number, but I mean, you don't you think about Yankee baseball, you think about John Sterling and just his radio call. He's one of those guys that was there forever. I mean, think about the Yankees, probably the most. I mean, if you just took sports franchises in the world, like most fans in the world, how many fans have listened to John Sterling on the radio? Especially growing up. I know nowadays we have TV and stuff a lot more, but like people growing up, like my parents, your parents probably. I mean, they listen. That's who they listen to on the radio. If you're listening to a Yankee game, it was John Sterling.
Oh, dude. Yeah, and by the way, there's 5,060 consecutive games he called for the Yanks. My dad, my late father, listened to two things in the radio. He listened to John Sterling and Yankee games, and he listened to Mike and the Mad Dog. That's all he listened to. And I can't tell you how many times I've heard John Sterling call a game, and like his voice was so soothing, and like calling a game, and just like really brought you in, like made you feel a part of the game and what was going on. Um, yeah, those two, like both Ted Turner and John Sterling, they are baseball icons. They are going to be missed. And honestly, that I don't want to talk about ABS success rates. We'll end on that. 54, 55 minutes in. Thought for not going for a week and a half, we did a pretty good job of summing up everything that happened in baseball last week and a half. If you're still listening, thank you for listening. Hagen, any last thoughts before I close this out?
Yes, I do just want to say shout out to Max Kranick. He's someone I've been advocating for a while now on this podcast for months, and I'm saying sign this guy, sign this guy. Congratulations to him for finally getting a contract with the Washington Nationals, major league deal too. He's going to be a reliever. I mean, it's going to be awesome to see him on the Nationals. Should be back in around June ish, hopefully maybe July. It's going to be awesome to see Max Kranick back out there on the mound and see him just compete, man. I mean, it's gonna be awesome to see him back out there on the field after his flexor tendon surgery. So I'm really happy for him.
I love it. Love it. Well, thank you all for listening. Follow us on social media. We're on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all that good stuff. We have an email newsletter that's free to subscribe. Rate us 5 stars if you feel us appropriate. Um, Definitely had some brand new articles posted this week, so go check them out. And